No woman wants the same boring routine in the bedroom over and over again. Here's the truth. Most women have secret fantasies, kinks, and desires they'll never openly admit. Sometimes it's because they don't want to be judged, sometimes they don't want to look too much, and sometimes they just hope you'll figure it out yourself. And here's the thing. If you can unlock these hidden desires, not only will you blow her mind in bed, but you'll also make her see you as the man who gets her on a deeper level. That's how you create obsession. So in today's video, I'm going to share with you 8 kinky things women secretly want to try in bed, but are often too shy to ask for. Let's get started. 1. Being blindfolded. This one is simple, but ridiculously powerful. Why do so many women secretly want to be blindfolded? Because it amplifies every touch, every kiss, every moment. When you take away her sight, her other senses go into overdrive. Imagine this. She's lying there, blindfolded, not knowing where your next touch will be. Maybe it's your fingertips running across her thigh, maybe it's your lips on her neck, maybe it's your tongue teasing her lower. She has no idea what's coming, and that mystery is intoxicating. When you blindfold her, you're giving her body permission to feel fully. And women love the suspense. It turns a simple kiss into something electric. Pro tip: don't rush. The slower you go, the more her imagination takes over. And trust me, her imagination is way dirtier than anything you'll say out loud. 2. Light bondage, tying her up, handcuffs, restraints. You don't need to go full 50 Shades of Grey to introduce a little bondage. Sometimes, all it takes is tying her wrists with a soft scarf, or pinning her hands above her head while you kiss her deeply. The reason this works? It taps into one of the oldest sexual fantasies women have, the desire to surrender control. Now, before we go further, consent is everything. This is only kinky when she's comfortable and excited about it. Never push, never assume. Have a playful, curious conversation first. But once she's into it? Game changer. Restraints create a physical reminder that she's not in control, you are. And that feeling, combined with passion, can push her arousal through the roof. Pro tip: start soft. A scarf, a tie, even just holding her wrists down gently. It's not about pain, it's about power. 3. Rougher sex, with consent. Here's the reality. A lot of women fantasize about being taken a little rougher than you think. That doesn't mean abuse. That doesn't mean ignoring her limits. But many women secretly want to be pinned down, spanked, hair pulled, or kissed with raw hunger. Why? Because it makes them feel wanted. It makes them feel like you can't hold yourself back. It makes the sex primal, not polite. Think of it this way. Women spend most of their day being careful, polite, in control, professional, maybe even stressed. In bed, many crave the opposite. They want to feel like they can let go completely, while you take over. That's why rougher sex, when done with respect and consent, can feel like a total release for her. Pro tip: mix the rough with the soft. Push her against the wall, then kiss her tenderly. Spank her, then whisper something sweet. The contrast is what makes it addictive. 4. Dirty talk. Here's something women won't always admit: they love dirty talk. Even women who say, "Oh, I'm not really into that," often melt when you whisper something hot in the right tone, at the right moment. Why? Because words trigger the imagination. And once her imagination is involved, her arousal doubles. Dirty talk doesn't have to be complicated. In fact, the easiest way to start is simply by narrating what you're doing. You feel so good right now. I love the way you moan. I can't wait to taste every inch of you. Notice how none of those lines are cringy? They're simple, natural, and they focus on her. Another level is telling her what you're going to do. I'm going to make you come so hard tonight. I'm not stopping until your legs are shaking. This builds anticipation. And anticipation is the fuel of desire. Pro tip: don't mumble. Use your voice with confidence. A deep, slow, controlled tone will drive her insane. So far we've covered blindfolds, light bondage, rougher sex, and dirty talk. Each of these taps into a secret fantasy many women have, but don't always admit. But here's the thing, we're only halfway through. Because the next 4 are where things really get exciting, the ones that add variety, creativity, and long-term passion to your sex life. And once you understand these, you'll realize women don't just want great sex, they want unforgettable experiences. 5. Roleplay. Here's one most men underestimate: roleplay. A lot of women secretly fantasize about stepping into a different character in bed. Why? Because roleplay gives them permission to explore a side of themselves they don't usually show. It could be as simple as acting like strangers meeting at a bar. Or as bold as dressing up like a strict teacher, a nurse, or even a boss who's in charge. Here's the fun part: roleplay isn't about costumes or scripts. It's about mindset. When you both slip into character, the tension becomes electric. She's no longer your girlfriend or your wife, she's someone new. And that freshness makes it exciting. Pro tip: start light. Try the strangers meeting for the first time roleplay at home. Approach her like you don't know her, flirt, tease, then take her home. The sillier you are, the hotter it gets. 6. Public or semi-public play. This one's huge. Many women secretly get turned on by the risk of being caught. Not actual danger, but the thrill of almost being seen. Think about it: sharing a naughty kiss in a dressing room, slipping your hand under her skirt in the corner of a restaurant booth, or whispering something filthy in her ear while you're at a party. The mix of danger and desire makes her pulse race. Why does this kink hit so hard? Because it mixes adrenaline with arousal. And those two chemicals together create fireworks in the brain. Now, of course, you don't want to get arrested. So keep it playful. A quick tease in public, then finish things in private where you can go all out. Pro tip: don't underestimate whispered dirty talk in public. Just leaning into her ear and saying, "I can't wait to bend you over when we get home," will make her blush and melt instantly. 7. Threesome or guest star fantasies. Okay, let's talk about one of the biggest fantasies women secretly think about, even if they never admit it out loud. The idea of a threesome, or bringing in a guest star. Now, this doesn't mean she wants to actually do it. For many women, the fantasy is enough. Just the thought of being desired by more than one person at the same time is intoxicating. Why? Because it multiplies the attention. Instead of being desired by one person, she imagines being the center of two people's hunger. And that fantasy alone can send her into overdrive. Now, some women do want to try it in reality, while others just like talking about it during dirty talk. Either way, it's a fantasy worth respecting and exploring carefully. Pro tip: never pressure her into this. Instead, bring it up playfully in conversation or in the middle of dirty talk. For example, you'd go crazy if another girl was watching me take you right now, wouldn't you? Even if it never happens, acknowledging the fantasy makes her feel safe and understood. 8. Being dominated. This is the big one. The fantasy almost every woman has on some level, but rarely admits being dominated. I don't mean being controlled outside the bedroom. I mean in the bedroom, she wants to let go completely. To be the one who follows, while you lead. Think about it. Most women spend their days making decisions, juggling responsibilities, being in control. In bed, many crave the opposite. They want a man who can confidently take charge, set the pace, and give them permission to surrender. That could mean ordering her to get on her knees, flipping her over without asking, or holding her down while you whisper, "You're mine tonight." It's not about being cruel. It's about being firm, decisive, and confident. That power exchange creates one of the most primal and addictive dynamics in sex. Pro tip: dominance isn't just about moves, it's about energy. Speak with authority, move with purpose, and she'll follow your lead without hesitation. The bigger picture, so let's step back for a second. Blindfolds. Bondage. Rough sex. Dirty talk. Roleplay. Public play. Threesomes. Domination. Each of these kinks has one thing in common: they create variety and intensity. And that's what keeps desire alive. Because here's the truth most men miss: women don't just want sex. They want experiences. They want stories they'll replay in their head when they're alone. They want the kind of passion that makes them text you the next day saying, "I can't stop thinking about last night," when you can be the man who gives her that. You're unforgettable.